Hi everybody, Ryan Belgi with Golf News Net. Thanks for checking out our channel once again. Today for you we have a club review. Specifically, we have a wedge review. So I have been playing with the same wedges for far too long, let's say. And I was getting to the point where I was noticing a little bit less spin on them. I play more golf than most people. I also dead hand a lot of shots compared to a lot of people, so I don't worry as much about spin and stop because I want to see shots roll in the hole or roll toward the hole. But I was noticing a lack of performance and I needed to get a fresh set of grooves. And it just so happened that Ben Hogan Golf reached out right about the time when I started thinking about needing new wedges, fresh grooves. And they are direct to consumer, so they take out the middleman. So they are also the middleman. So they cut prices compared to the average retailer. And they said, well, we can send you some wedges. We got some wedges. We got Equalizer wedges, and I went onto their website and started looking through the product and said, hey, can you send me the Equalizer Black wedges? They look awesome. I love a black finish on a wedge. I have a bad left eye, so any kind of glare can affect my swing because it can just shoot my eye and kind of make my vision not great for a couple of seconds. And I've had a black PVD finish on a wedge in the past. Most recently, actually my last set of wedges, they were great. It was just, I liked looking at it. And so they said, yeah, sure, we'll send you a set of 3. And they sent me a 52, 56, and 60-degree wedges. And so I went and put them into play for a couple of rounds here at the start of the year. And then when I went down to Florida, I used them for my annual buddy trip down at a bunch of different courses in the Orlando area. And I'm here to kind of report on my usage of them, right? Well, I have to tell you a little bit about the wedges first. These are called the Equalizer Black because they've got a PVD finish, but you can get the regular Equalizers. They've got that traditional kind of chrome style looking on them. So these are made of forged 1025 carbon steel. And the theory behind these is a little different than what you would get from maybe some other wedge makers in the world. And their theory at Ben Hogan is that the center of gravity should move in the wedges so that when you are hitting with 50, 52-degree wedges, the center of gravity goes down a little bit so that you can put the ball in the air more. And that way you have stopping power. So you can, for a lot of golfers who struggle to put the ball in the air, that's the theory. If you can build them something with a lower center of gravity, even in the wedges, you can launch it a little bit higher, it'll come down softer and stop a little bit quicker. On the 56 and 60-degree wedges, so the sand wedge, lob wedge type products, their thinking is that you will get the ball up in the air with that loft naturally. So the center of gravity isn't as important for those in setting up a trajectory. You're just going to put the ball in the air regardless. And for a lot of people using 56 and 60-degree wedges, you're not using them on full shots. You're using them on partial shots, and you're using them inside a certain yardage to get closer to the hole, to chip, to pitch out of the sand, to get out of trouble. And so all of that makes sense, right? But for me, I hit a high ball. I've always had a high ball, except with driver, I find a way somehow to flatten my swing and kind of hit a little bit of a runner. But with my irons, I like to come in high. And most of the time that works for me. So I was concerned getting these wedges in hand that I would hit the ball too high. Not only with the 52, but also with the 56, which I hit a lot of full shots with both of those. Hit a lot of wedges in my home course. So I was worried I would come in too high, too steep, and it wouldn't work for me. And it turns out that was wrong. They did work for me. I do hit them higher. I do hit the 52-degree maybe a few feet higher in the air. And I do hit the 56 a few feet higher in the air, maybe a few yards. But they do come down soft. And they do stop quickly. I don't put a ton of spin on any shot that I hit, but particularly with wedges, I don't suck the ball back a lot. Even unless I'm using like a particularly spinny ball, I don't suck the ball back a lot. I like to hit to a point and it just kind of stays there. And on the shorter shots that are 30, 50, 70 yards, I like to dead hand them a lot. Again, as I mentioned before, I like to see shots roll like putts. So when I'm plotting out a pitch shot, whether it's high, whether it's low, I'm thinking not only about where I want to land it, but I'm also thinking about where I want it to run out to. And I want it to run out like a putt, so I read the last whatever number of feet of that shot as a putt. If I can get it here and it does this or it does that, then I'm going to have a successful outcome. And with these, I have no problem doing that. The thing I really feel most comfortable with about these wedges, and particularly the sand wedge, which we'll get to in a minute, is the V-sole. So the V-sole is kind of the proprietary grind shape for Ben Hogan for their wedges. And what it starts with is bounce on the leading edge, additional bounce. So you got a lot of bounce to work with here. So it gives you some versatility. You can kind of play it forward, you can lean it forward, you can play it back and hit it comfortably. And then there's trailing edge relief, so there's less bounce on the trailing edge to give you a little bit of relief as well. What I really like about the sand wedge, and I mean the other wedges too, but I hit the sand wedge the most, is I like that versatility. I like being able to do whatever I think I need to do with it and not have to worry about whether I have that grind working for me. I can lay it back, I can lean it forward, I can play it off the heel, play it off the toe, I can lean the wedge and lay it on the ground however I would like. I can hit a flop shot with it, I can hit a runner with it. All those things I can do. And it's because of the versatility of the grind. Now the V-sole is also on the 52 and also on the 60. I don't do as much, frankly, versatile things with those clubs, so it's not as much of a sticking point, or it's not as much of a sales point either. I hit a lot of full shots with the 52. I don't hit a lot of kind of mid-range shots. I'm either hitting it lower, quicker, or I am putting the ball in the air and just trying to get it 100 yards or 90 yards, something like that. And then with the 60, to be honest, I haven't had a 60 in my bag for 3 or 4 years. I figured at my home course where I have ryegrass and the ball kind of sits up pretty well, if I want to hit a flop shot, let's open up a 56. The thing that I did miss about having a 60 was being able to stick the club in the turf, because my old 60 had a really low bounce, like 5 or 6 degrees of bounce. And I could just stick it in the turf and it would go up in the air. And I did kind of miss that at times when I needed to do it, but frankly, everything with the 56 could do the job. And that's what I really, really like about this wedge. This is the easiest to hit 56 degree wedge I've ever used. And it's because of the versatility in part, because I can imagine a shot and I know I can manipulate the club to do it, but this leading edge, this extra bounce, really makes it easy to get out of the bunker for me. I do not practice bunker shots a lot. You probably don't either. And most people get petrified when they go into a bunker for that very reason, because you don't practice those types of things. So when you get in there, you kind of have to jar your memory, how to remember how to hit the shot. Then you have to execute it. And then you think, all right, am I doing it right? Well, am I holding the club right? Do I have the ball position right? Well, with this, I know I've got all that working for me. I know I've got the club in the right spot. I know that I've got my ball position right. And I know that I can just kind of come in with a V-shape swing, come up quickly, steeply, and come down into it. And I hit the shot that I need. I get out of the bunker, and I'm not going to stay in there. I'm going to hit it reasonably close, and I'm going to give myself a chance. That's a great feeling when you're in a bunker. It's a great feeling also when you're hitting a 20 or 30 yard chip shot where you got to get over something, or you got to get it up to a certain height to be able to have a chance. You know you're going to be able to do that with this. With the 1025 forged carbon, it feels great. It doesn't feel too heavy or too light, but it's got the weight that I like. It's a little bit heavier as I feel it in my hands. And I like that because, again, I dead hand a lot of shots. So I just want the club to do the work. I just want the club to hit the ball, and then I don't need to rush into it. I don't need to put spin on it. I want it to roll out. It does that for me. That's exactly what I want it to do. What I also like about it is the sound. It doesn't sound too techy. It sounds like a classic wedge. So I'm like, or when I hit the full shot. So it's the sound that I want, it's the look that I want, it's the feel coming into the ball that I want. I also like the grip here. It's the 5-section grip from Lampkin. And what I like about that is that it gives you different zones for different types of feel shots. So when I grip down, there's a certain feel. When I hold it for a full shot, it has a different feel. There's a little bit of a reminder here for your thumb if you do the full swing. I like that style of grip, and so it works for me. This came with the KBS Tour V shaft. You can order certain flexes with it. I went with a stiff shaft. I don't swing wedges that hard usually, so that works for me. And I did like that I was able to actually get a wedge with some flex on it instead of just a wedge flex, which you get with a lot of folks just out of the gate. So I liked being able to pick that piece of it. I think that with these, I can do everything that I need to do. And I kind of have a really utilitarian approach to wedges. It doesn't need to save me. It needs to work for me. I don't need to work for it. And I can hit the ball high with a full shot. I can hit it kind of medium height if I need to lean into it a little bit. I can do all the things I need to do around the green with it, which feels great. And that gives me the confidence that I can do what I need to do. So the best part about these is the price. These are, just like every other piece of Ben Hogan equipment, are sold, again, direct to you. So they cut out the middleman. They lop off some percentage of the price, basically, because that markup is gone. They don't have to deal with retail or paying as many tour players, and they don't have to do all of those types of things. They save those costs, and they pass them along to you. So if you're looking for a wedge that does the job, cool. If you're looking for irons that are well made at a reasonable price, cool. Get them at a reasonable cost. If you aren't sitting around with a ton of money to go do a club fitting, you can do the fitting online. They will give you some help. You can get the things that you need. Try everything out. If it doesn't work, then they'll work with you to make it right. And that's what I really like about what they've done so far. And I like that business model. A little bit of disruption, a little bit different. It's a good deal. I also like a good deal. So if you're in the market for wedges, take a look at Ben Hogan. If you're like me and you hit the ball high, it's not a deterrence. If you struggle to get the ball in the air with your wedges, this might be a wedge solution for you because it puts the weight in the right places. It gives you the versatility that you're going to need, and it's going to give you the confidence that you need to be able to hit good shots in the air with some stopping power, and a new set of fresh grooves never hurt anybody. So we're going to keep playing with these for right now in my backyard, on my backyard golf course, and hopefully soon back out on a full 18-hole course, playing golf like always, and hitting a whole lot of wedges and having a whole lot of fun out on the golf course. Let me know what you're looking for in a wedge. Let me know what your favorite wedges are and why you like them so much. You can follow me on Twitter at Ryan Ballingy, and please follow our channel for the latest news, product reviews, updates, and so much more that we're throwing your way. I'm Ryan Ballingy. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time.